Welcome back to another video of the Naked Gardeners. Today we're going to be in the garden, so we have a lot to do in our garden beds. One is I want to finish Mrs. Naked Gardener's 5x10 bed. Not exactly sure what she wants to put in those just yet. Then I got some no-tool beds where I'm going to make a 4x4 bed. And since we have some asparagus crowns and also some strawberry crowns that we got from Stark Brothers, I wanted to put those into the bed. So we're going to have to make a lot of potting mix for those beds. And then I want to do some weeding. We have some plants that's in our garden that needs to be chopped down because we're coming up into the weather. I'm going to be doing some other stuff, not exactly sure. Ooh, that sun's coming out now. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and start preparing the raised beds of the no-tool beds. And she's going to get on me for my OCD part because I want to make sure all the beds are going to be aligned, and that's going to be in the back area of the beds. And then hopefully we can get 811 out here to figure out where our, I think that's the gas or power meter on the front easement of our property, because when we got our roselle growing right now, they're sprouting and we're hardening them off, and so we want to be able to put those into the ground and make almost like a living fence right there. So without further ado, let's get going. We got the wood cut. Pretty sure y'all didn't want to see that, so just cut it. And now we're about to put this together. When you're doing the cardboard, the no-tool, no-till method, when you're putting your cardboard, whatever liner that you have, you want to make sure that you overlap it anywhere at least 6 inches, or lap as much as you can. We didn't have that much any more cardboard left. We just been using this old feed bag that we decided to keep. Luckily we did, because we've been using that. Now I just got to lay out this from a certain distance, then make sure these beds are all aligned. What I'm possibly thinking about doing is going about, Mrs. looked like she put some zinnias right here. So we're going to go possibly, since these get kind of bushy, maybe going about right here. Let's see what that is right there. About 36. So about 36 inches. And we'll go from the end of there. So a raised bed. Yeah, that'll work. So 36. So we'll start off this corner and let this be our aligned area. That bed will possibly have to move down this way. We'll see. Most likely it will. So let's just go ahead and put this together. I got it, all these beds lined up, all straight and aligned. So now it's time to fill it up. I had to add some more to the feed bag just to kind of overlap and make sure we have enough coverage. Even though most of these beds are going to be at least anywhere from 4 to 6 inches high, that will help deter some of the grass from going up through there, but a little bit helps along the way. So now is the work part. That's the mixing, the potty mix. So what I have here is, I've mentioned this before, is I took the measurements of the bed here, the 4 4 feet by 4 feet by 6 inches. Actually, it's 5.5 inches of the 2x6s, but 6 inches will give us a little area, enough volume to where the soil would shrink down after you get all the air gaps at. But I got the compost out from our back orchard, and where that orchard was is we're gonna possibly move it later, but we kept that compost there, and that way whenever we need it we'll just go and grab it. And I put about 3 buckets of the compost in here. We got 2 bags of the Kellogg's raised potting mix. The big box store that I was at didn't have black cow, so once again I had to use the humus manure bag here. And we're gonna mix this all up and dump it in here, and we're gonna repeat the process, except for that bed where Mrs. Naked Gardeners have her 5x10 bed at. We did, the big box store did have some black cow, so we got some black cow for that one. But for the other 4x4 bed, we're going to do the same thing of our compost, Kellogg's raised bed potting mix, and the organic humus manure. The next day, and now we're going to be planting these strawberries and doing these asparagus, doing it later in the evening, so that way it won't be as stressful on these plants. And then we'll give you a preview of what a garden tour is going to be coming up in May. This is the bed that we're going to be doing the strawberries in, and the reason for that is I want it as closest to the house as possible, so that way we don't have to worry about rodents. Try to decrease the chances of rodents, I should say. The strawberries, you want them anywhere from 12 to 18 inches apart. We're going to use this finesse tool that we got from Sean, the Mindful Farmer, and it's a very useful tool. These are about 30-inch wide. You got these tines that are 6 inches apart, and what we're just going to do is just going to lay out our areas like that to kind of give us a reference point of where to plant these at. And going across through this way. This is very light and easy to use. And so what I'm going to try to do, I should have wetted this up a little bit before I planted these, but at least I soaked these crowns, so that way they will be viable. After I plant them, I will give them a nice watering, and I will water these every day for about a week. These are from Stark Brothers. These are the All-Star Strawberry Juneberry. Just had one more. Oh, look at the extra one. I knew it. I knew it. All right, so we're gonna pull a little bit that off. Gonna try to make it like a little mound. Try to spread these roots as much as possible. And see, we're just gonna keep that crown part above it. Show you one more time. What did I do with the crown? Is this the crown? Yeah. Just like that. Now we're going to start planting our asparagus. With our asparagus, we've been letting them soak for about an hour. When we first got them, I wasn't ready for them. We didn't have the beds ready, so I put them in the refrigerator until the time that we are ready. And now that we're ready, we're going to start trenching. What we're going to do for the trenching, we're just going to go about 6 to 8 inches deep. This is the soil that we've made. So it's going to be nice and fluffy. It's going to be able to hold some water while not completely being saturated and drying out. All right, now what these are called the Millennium asparagus. There should be about 10 in here. Once again, these are from Stark Brothers. They put this little stuff on top of them, I guess to preserve them. We're gonna try to get these spread out as much as possible. Oops. There we go. I'm gonna space them out about a foot apart. Oh, these roots are real thick and heavy. Normally I would do a mound, but since I'm going a little bit deeper than I normally do, this should be fine. There we go. Spread out those roots, and then we'll cover about 2 inches. I should have put some like wood ash or something on top of it to kind of help the roots, but I think we should be good. No, that's some. And kind of give you a prequel of what our garden is looking like. Here we have our tomato row, and we interplanted some lettuce right here. A lot of these tomatoes were transplants, especially our basil right here, because with this temperature what we've been having has been off and on. This week we just had a cold snap. It was in the 40s at lows at night, and these temps are just stunting a lot of our peppers and tomatoes. The salvia has came back with a vengeance. Oh, we even got some bees going around here. Go ahead, bees. That was one of the main reasons why I wanted to plant this. It was in my dad's garden, and he had a lot of bees, and it just kept on coming back and back each year. I think you can these are even considered medicinal. You can make some salves and some other tinctures with those. We are growing a lot of onions this year. Each bed has about 1, 2, 3, 4 areas of onions, sets of onions in there. Some are from seeds, some are from sets. Those are from sets we're going to be using as grow them big to make them into powder. You see, like even this flower right here, I think this is a calendula. No, this is a zinnia. I'm gonna probably put some, this is a weed. I'm probably going to be putting some worm casting in these beds too, because some of these are kind of yellowing out, and we don't want that. Oh, that was just dirt. Thought that was some. See how yellow that one is, and this one. What I done at the end of each bed, I planted a perennial herb. We got some thyme over here, some rosemary over there, some oregano right there. I need to find something to plant there. This Brussels sprout's been here for 2 years now. We got some lavender over there, some more lavender, some rosemary. I think this is sage, some chives. What else we got here? We got some parsley that look like it's going to seed, going to flower. Got to cut this down. We got this echinacea right here. I want to split this up and plant it in our perennial garden. with some herbs and stuff. So that's the only reason why I haven't moved this out. I think I need to add some more. Oh man, look at all those roly-polies up in there. I'm not sure you can see that. We got some roly-polies up in there. Gotta mix this all around. What is that? So luckily there's no ants in there, but that's okay. I'm okay with the roly-polies being in our worm bin here. I just don't want them in our beds itself, because sometimes they'll eat the plants. We're going to be, this is a comfrey. I got to split this up as well. We're going to try to split this up through the bed. That's going to be another video. We got a lot of onions in here, and our neighbor gave us this squash right here, and this is, I think, lemon balm. And then our strawberry patch that me and Mrs. Naked Garden have been fighting over. She gets the luxury of being here and stealing my strawberries. And this is our artichokes. Now the good thing about artichokes is they're a dual purpose. I consider them a dual purpose. One, you get to harvest off of the flower itself before it goes into flower, and then you can use these leaves as cut and come along, or chop and drop, and basically you just chop these leaves off and place it over the soil to keep the soil nice and cool during these hot summer months, and just add nutrients back into the soil. This was parsley. It's about to go to seed. I've been chopping it off, some of it off, and feeding it to our rabbits. This is some calendula. Last year we had calendula in a container, and I guess some of the seeds have dropped and fell off right here. We had some zinnias also right here, but the calendula, I guess, were the strong points of this. This lemon balm has thrived each year. I think we've had this now for 4 or 5 years, 4 years, maybe 3, very long time. Bees and hummingbirds just swarm this once it starts to bloom. I believe this trellis is probably the only trellis that doesn't have anything growing on it just yet. I think I'm gonna soak some beans and do some dried beans on here. Here is our experiment container row. A lot of y'all been asking about how did the tomato fertilizer experiment went. We had extreme hot weather, so we couldn't finish that, because once tomatoes and peppers, mostly nightshades, once the temperature gets about 90-95 degrees, they'll start dropping their blossoms. So that should be sufficient enough to do this experiment. What we're going to do is we're going to test several different fertilizers, from vermicompost to regular compost to just the regular big box store brands that you got. And we also got Redmond. Redmond finally has their official fertilizer to feed your soil, which is going to feed your plants. And we're going to try that out against all of them. So as you can see, we've expanded our garden a lot. Each year, each season, we've been expanding, and who knows how far we're going to get on the next expansion when the season ends. If you want to see where we started off from, we'll put that video off to the side and also in the description down below. Until the next video, let's grow together.